Hey there, and welcome to another edition of HiiVE Podcast, introducing you to the eXp Realty trailblazers and newsmakers that are aligning under one brokerage and creating a movement in the real estate industry. I'm your HiiVE host, Sam Rodriguez. What is all the buzz? All right. Hey there, everybody. Sam Rodriguez. I'm your HiiVE host. We are back with another episode of All the Buzz here about eXp Realty. And today we get to bring you yet again another special guest. And let me go ahead and bring him into the room here. All right. Let's see. Daniel, I think you're with us now.
Hey.
Hey there. How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
There's the real Daniel Pendley.
Hey, I just want to get adjusted here, buddy.
That's fine.
I'll be here. All right.
All good. You got your worldcappers.com.
Oh, yeah, we got worldcappers there. Come on, worldcappers.com in the house. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing excellent, Daniel. Thanks so much for taking the time and joining me today.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get adjusted here so I look pretty.
You look pretty. You look good. Looking good. So Daniel, I'm going to do a real quick little intro. And I say real quick because we only got about 30 to 40 minutes or so on this entire session. I want to make it all about you. Can't wait to hear so you drop some golden nuggets here for everybody. But thanks again for dropping in on the show today. Daniel, you are a best-selling author. In fact, I've got your book here in front of me.
Yeah.
Wanted to highlight that.
Yeah.
So you've not only been a author, but busy writing some books. You spend some time as a TV personality. You are a top worldwide coach. So lots of great stuff. I know I could spend the 30 minutes talking about you, but let's talk. I'll let you talk about you a little bit more. So maybe share a little bit more of a brief history.
Well, it's funny. I've been in real estate for over 4 decades, and the idea of what you guys are bringing to the table, I had no idea. Amanda, the traveling realtor, one of our friends, right? And she calls me and asked me to get in this business. And I said, no, I would never be a part of that because, I train everyone. I train every real estate company in the world, and I've been doing it for years. So I said, thank you, but no thank you. I then had this opportunity to go on a TV show called Below Deck Mediterranean. And so what happened is I thought, hey, who is somebody that's a startup that's trying to get their business going? And I thought of Amanda. I had another kid that, I made $144,000 in 3 months, and another entrepreneur. And I wanted to put the boat together. So I called her and said, hey, would you like to go to a TV show and go to, the Mediterranean with me? She goes, let me think about it. Yes. She goes, let me go to my company, which is eXp, and get them to sponsor me. So we did, and went on the boat, right? And it's amazing. If you've ever been there, it is a Capri. It is an $80 million yacht, and it was just lifestyle, the rich and famous, kind of thing. And I had an opportunity because I got cast on the show. So I took everybody out. We had a great time, went on the boat. We had a private chef. We went water slides. We went water biking. We had all these kind of activities, and tried everything you can imagine, right? After 3 days, came back. We ended up getting millions of viewers in that, and I was doing it because I wanted to promote the book, The Power of the Dream, and we did get a lot of great press out of that. Well, after I got a call from Amanda, and that's where I met you, and she said, hey, would you come to New Orleans and talk about the realtors who live this kind of lifestyle? And I said, sure. I said, I'll be glad to. She says, I have a penthouse for you. I said, okay, that makes it even better. So, I came, I enjoyed, I was just going to go there, two of us, and what have you. I thought, that'd be great. And I'll just look at it from that aspect of it. And when I came, I met Glenn Sanford. I met Jen Fredericks. I met you, I met Rob Flick. I met everybody. I mean, I'm even walking through this thing. And as I'm walking through, this big guy is, hey, Pendley. I go, what? He goes, I remember you. I took your program 20 years ago. And I go, yeah, cool. I go, great. Yeah, thank you. And I think you or somebody said, you know who that is? And I said, well, obviously it's one of my past students. He goes, that's Brett Gove. And, he's one of our top producers. And then it kept happening all over the place. And people started noticing and recognizing that I was, there. And Glenn asked me to do a breakout, which I did. I come back and I started thinking about it. I thought, what an amazing company this is, what cutting edge it is. And I came back and I created a training site called World Cappers for everyone. Read all the material for 2020. And then I pulled the trigger 2.5, 3 months ago. And we're growing like crazy right now. So what I want to bring to the table with eXp is that this is the new millennium. This is the new world. We're ahead of it. We're built for this. And it's something that everybody can get involved in. And whether you want to or not, you're going to have to make that shift, Sam. I mean, it's just inevitable. I work with, Remax. I've been with private boutique companies. Century 21 I started with. So I know many models. And as I look at this, it is amazing what we have now. And what's just happened with the COVID-19 and what's going on. It's like, it's leveled the playing field, Sam. It means if you're a brand new baby agent, or you are a seasoned pro that I've trained in the past, either you're going to get in and get with the new technology, or you're going to get out.
That's true. You make a great point, though, Daniel, because having been in the industry as long as you have, trained some of the people, you mentioned Brent Gove, that's a $100 million producer, having been involved in coaching and working closely, knowing so many of these different models. Why eXp? What was it that was so compelling that you said, C21 is a great company. Yeah, Keller is a great company. Yeah, all these other, because there's great companies out there. But you said, I don't want to associate with anybody. I remember that was one of the things that you were.
No way. Yeah.
I don't want my name attached to any brokerage.
Yeah, I got to be neutral. I believe that, right? But after all these years, and I can name hundreds of companies literally that I've built from zero up to built their companies up to thousands, right? I really thought about, wow, as a coach and an agent who's done a lot of deals myself, and I continue to do business as well, what is the benefit? Well, think about it. If I train somebody, right, and they come into my online coaching, I developed over 200 online movies. There's a platform there. They can watch the movies. They pay a fee for that, for a membership yearly on that. And then they come into my one-day event. They pay a fee, and then my life training program. And then they're done, Sam. That's pretty much it. I think you'll call me like in 2 years, hey, Pendley, I did $10 million, and I'm so happy for them, right? But they're not really still connected. So I thought, it's cheap. You think about it. If you could have, $10 a month, think about it, from every person you ever trained, whether you're a teacher or you're a high school teacher or any kind of a person that does that. Think about myself, over 500,000 realtors. If I had $10 a month, do the math. It would be amazing. So I started thinking about, how could I help more people pay it forward, be a servant-driven leader, and take care of other people? And I say that servant-driven leader in a sense of, that's where the heart is. So I lead from the heart, and the head follows, by teaching people how to actually be a person who has a time-proven system, a repeatable system, and then repeat that. So to answer your question, to think about how I could grow worldwide, all over, build all the agents I've trained from Bangor, Maine to New York to California, all over the world, and then they could all join in. What an amazing thing that we could create from my huge database that we could work from. So I thought, hey, this is a no-brainer. I could do my training, I could help thousands of people, and I could help everybody in eXp. And that is the idea that I said, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So the first time I actually committed to eXp and that platform, because why? It's where we're going. You can't go to Blockbuster anymore, and you're going to have to go to Netflix, and eventually you're going to have that platform.
Even if you could go to Blockbuster, would we actually go to Blockbuster? Probably not, right? Who wants to get in their car and drive down to that brick building and wait in the line and hope that something's available, right? When we can just get it.
Oh, yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like I think about all the different changes. I did a Zoom call, and I do one now every Thursday from 2 o'clock to 3:30 for all my members and past. And I had a young man on there that has done in the past 48 months, he did 130 transactions, right? Another young man who's already hit 7 million. I've already got a team going right now, and several people in World Cappers in my organization, inside the organization, have already capped, which is amazing, right? And so I started thinking about it, and people just hold on. You sometimes got to let go of what you got to get something bigger. And people just hold on to that old school mentality. So, I keep sharing it with them, and the only thing we can do as leaders is you have to lead. I've heard this and I've said this, that if you want to lead yourself first, right? So I had to jump out of the plane. I remember years ago, I used to do adrenaline addict things, and I'd take groups on, a skydiving or bungee jumping or whatever. And every time with shark diving, I'd take these groups to, the fear factor, and always, who was the first one had to jump? Me. So, even today, I still do something you'll see on the TV show that was a breakthrough fear factor. And I think that's part of it, Sam, letting go. And if people don't let go, they're going to continue to go on. It's like, I love Gene Frederickson. He talked about, the guy that if you could go back to grandpa and tell him there's a thing called an airplane, and I know you're in 1920 investing in the railroad, but if you could just listen to me, you're going to be a billionaire invested there. It's kind of like where I'm coming with my message with my students, with my database, my team. And, they're slowly coming on. It's coming on like this. They're seeing it. And you know what I noticed, Sam? That don't get discouraged out there. If you're EXP and you're really trying to build right now, don't get discouraged. It took me 2.5 years to actually pull the trigger. It takes other people time. But here's the good news. Sam, what I found is when people do move, they stay. They don't want to move. It's not like an MLM or something where they got to go in and use the product. No, this is their business. This is what they want to do. And as long as you give them the support, which we do at eXp, and then I do within my team as well, with daily calls, weekly training calls, all that, and you got a great team around you within your team, you don't have anything to worry about. Just keep building.
That's a great point you make there, because and you talk about that support. It's, we're here to sell real estate first and foremost, right?
That's right.
We could have a bunch of influential people in the industry like yourself, but it doesn't translate to anything if we don't have people that are here selling real estate. We just happen to have a lot of that. The numbers came in, Daniel, for 2019. I don't know if you saw, but we did over 130,000 transactions last year, making us the number one independent in the U.S. So that's a lot. That doesn't sound like an MLM company to me.
No.
Or a recruiting company. It sounds like a very productive group.
No, and I'm guilty. I have to say, when I first came in, remember I hit you a lot. We hung out, we broke bread, we went to dinners together. I got to really know you really great. You're a great guy, Sam, and I really appreciate what you do, because you're a company. Gene Fredericks, all you guys have got a good heart. And I tell people, I said, first of all, you get involved in something. Don't get involved in something that is simply because of the money. Look at the foundation. Look at the backing of this company. It's a stock-based company. It is publicly traded. It hit $1 billion on the stock exchange. I mean, everything you're looking at here, it's not like a startup. So you got to look at all the factors here. And, like in Ottawa, Canada, it's big, right? Here in Southern California, we're just getting started, right? There's a lot of things that are opening up, and there's celebrities that are coming on board. In Orange County, I'm having celebrity agents come on and do testimonies on Thursday and give pearls of wisdom. And what's funny about that is when they give their testimony, they're actually realize they're part of the team. And that's how we're attracting top professionals, getting them to come onto our platform and talk about what the market's doing. And Sam, I can't believe it. Yesterday was amazing. I had a top realtor from Keller Williams come on and talk about all the steps and things. It's exactly congruent when back in the days when I'd go to Arizona with Gary Keller and do the boot camps, and it was the same thing. Drive that appointment, right? And then from there, close for commitment. And that's really what we do in our trainings, and our team is get them out there, 4 presentations a week, 16 a month, 48. And you know what, Sam? The market has not slowed down. I'm looking at it. I have one of my agents who's done a deal a day for the last 15 days. So it's you have to learn how to use your Zoom, how to use your video, going in and videoing the vacant homes, reaching out. We are an essential business, so we have access to everything. So we are built for this, Sam.
That's right. I love that term, no doubt. And Daniel, you talked about that, that this isn't a new startup. At the same time, for the agents who may be looking at the eXp opportunity as on the revenue share side of things, building an organization. I know you mentioned building a team within. We're not too late though either. We're not new, but it's still early. We're still only 28,000 agents. There's 1.4 million of us out there in the U.S.
Yeah, there's 21.8 million in the world. So guess what? Now let's open it up here. I think of people that, are in this little geographic area and they're trying to recruit, but there's only so much you can do. But then you get out of the box and it gets bigger and bigger, and then before you know it, you got the whole world working. And it's going to grow. It's going to be let's say, if I could say, a positive coronavirus, okay? Because it's going to be. We talk about it, somebody else hit somebody, and Sam, I always look for the obstacle in the opportunity. In other words, if there's an obstacle somewhere, look, Sam, I've been around for 43 years. I got my license, my gold jacket in 1977. I've been through 22.5% interest rates. I've been through the 2008. I've been through every single one you can think of here up until now. I've never seen anything like this, but it's a disruptor. And I think what we're going to see, Sam, is a lot of great things coming out of this. And I don't think real estate's ever going to be the same. And people are having to work from home now. Think about it. You have to work. You don't have an option. You've got to work from home right now. And so now people are getting acclimated to that. And now what's going to happen is they're going to go, well, how can I capitalize on this market? How do I work in that market? So I've got 5 spokes in the wheel, 6 spokes actually in the wheel, things you could be doing every single week to create business. So you're going to spend like an hour in the morning getting your mindset, reading The Power of the Dream, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Get your mindset set up, right? Get yourself set. You got to be a me. In my book, I talk about it. You got to be a me before a we, right? So get yourself set up where you feel good and you're grateful and thankful. Then you go in and then you prospect for a couple of hours, right? 2 hours. And then because you've been prospecting, doing what I've said, that you do those 5 spokes in the wheel and those things that you can be doing in this market, then you have appointments. So you have Zoom appointments for 2 a day, right? And then you go, wow, how do I do that? And then here's the key, follow up. So if you are doing, treat your business right, just because we have this, shut in and we are all in a space where we cannot go out, we can't do the things we did. Get up in the morning, take a shower, get fresh, look like hey, $1 million, and get ready to go for the day. And if you just work 6 hours, I promise you, 4 days a week in this market, when this thing lifts, it's going to be huge. Here's what I know. Real estate didn't create this like it did in 2008, Sam. So because real estate didn't create it, it's going to be strong coming back. And it was the strongest market we've had in some 9-10 years, really. Think about it. And so because of that, the agents who are strong and they get out there, they're not going to go cover down. They're going to be like firefighters. I'm, going to go out there and make it happen. I'm going to go help people. They're going to be the winners, reaching out and touching the people, doing the videos, knowing that they can show homes and there's limited ways, but there's also a lot of things you can be doing. And, that's where I come in with my training, worldcappers.com. I created the whole site, multimedia presentations, 200 movies, 270 scripts. I like Gene, he said, we got to go back to the basics, you know? So I went back to the basics. I recreated all the scripts, updated them for 2020 because of you guys. You know that? Because when I came back, I said, we got to have something fresh right out of the box that goes right with a cutting edge company like eXp.
That's awesome. So, I mean, what I hear from you, Daniel, too, is, you know, as long as you've been in the business, real estate hasn't changed as far as the selling real estate, right? It's the same thing. If you lead generate, you said for 2 hours a day, and I think for a real 2 hours a day, right? Not, hey, I'm going to make a call here. Oh, now I'm going to go over here. I'm gonna hang out at the water cooler at the office, or maybe now at home. I'm gonna fold some laundry. It's a real, like, right? It's treated like a business.
Treat it like a business.
And now more than ever, agents have the time to do exactly that. Just because you have time off at home doesn't mean that you get to relax unless you're in the fortunate position to do that. So
absolutely.
Daniel, I guess let's kind of talk a little bit more about that. I love the tips, by the way. A little bit more of the coronavirus market of the moment. How are you, or how are your agents? I know you said you're going back to the basics with the scripts. Any other tips you want to share on that, or
well,
how these, like the agent with 15 deals, in the past 15 days, are they doing anything different? Or are they doing the same exact thing that they were doing?
No, you can't do the same thing. I mean, you know, like people say open houses, you know, you can't do an open house, but you know what you can do? You can go put a big sign out in front of the house and say, go here, virtual tour, show this house. Then you can do this, and I'll give you this. You can go interview the husband and get his perspective on what he likes about the house, and get the wife's perspective on what she likes about it, right? And then you do the tour of the house and you go around, and then you actually get a unbelievable showing of the home with the heart of the wife and the husband, right? So isn't that a great idea? And then, you know, you're still doing open houses, you're putting signs out, people are calling you, I want to see this. And of course, that's a way you can show it. You can also go to a vacant house as an example, and you can go ahead and film that vacant house, put that out on the internet. You should be really killing it with your video presentations every day, being an expert in that area where you are. So showing the homes that are out there and letting them know you're an essential business, and you can show them anything. For sale by owners, they're hungry. They want to talk right now. You know, my record, I did 41 for sale by owners in 41 consecutive tries. And then I wrote the scripts that go with it, that go through it. So here's the thing, you have a way that you got to bring people to you. Now you can go to this phone, they're hungry, expires right now, putting your videos out there. It's essentially important right now that you stay in contact and you go back to your database and you come from your heart and talk to them about them, not about you. They know what you do, right? So you reach out to your database. I mean, that's number one. You got a lot more time. People will talk to you. And they know what's going on. And of course, it's being lower than ever before. You know, you got stuff to talk about. This market has not slowed down. People are at home. They realize that they going to have a bigger home because their boss is going to call them and say, stay at home. They're going to have more, right? They might have generational people living with them, their mom, dad, grandpa, you know, everybody's starting to live together. That's another thing that's happening right now. There are a lot of opportunities out there for us because the market's shifting. People might have those Airbnbs or those, you know, bed and breakfast, or they might have some rental properties that they know, hey, I don't want to be, the people that are in there going, I don't want to pay, I don't have to pay you, right? Because of what's going on. So they're going to want to release those properties as well. So, I mean, I can tell you there are at least a dozen ideas I get every single Thursday from 2 to 3:30 of fresh and what's happening. I even have a financial expert coming on, Sam, and updating to the minute what's going on with the interest rates, where it's going. And then I have a lot of great information that helps people to go, oh, I get it. So for me, I think it's always the basics, education. You have the self-image yourself. Don't get taken down with the negativity, okay? You see your self-image, okay? You have the mindset. And if you have the desire to continue, not just to use that as an excuse, go, you know what, I'll just lay in bed. Look, hey, this is the time to wake up. If you're in real estate, wake up. This is the time. Don't waste a good crisis, okay? This is the time to really get excited about the real estate business and get going, not when it's all just, flowing. Right now, you have a tremendous opportunity.
So when we talk about that opportunity and coming out of, when we come out of COVID-19, we don't know what that is yet still. But right now, I mean, it's real estate. But even other businesses that are not real estate, they may come back at us now thinking, like you're saying, right? It might be stay at home. We don't need that big 10,000 square foot building anymore.
That's right. That's right.
So for real estate agents that are out there and that are probably, especially the agents who used to tell me all the time, I could never work at home, right?
Right.
Well, they're doing it now. And
isn't that true?
Right?
Oh.
So how does, messaging now to that person? So somebody who's watching the show right now or listening to us, what do you tell that person? What do you tell, as they potentially, maybe they're not looking to move. We're not asking them to move, right? Mm-hmm. We're asking them to look at an opportunity, because this is a different business model than what they're used to. You talked earlier, this isn't, mom and dad's or grandpa and grandma's real estate brokerage, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, you don't have a choice. I talk to people about this, Sam, just like at Christmas time. And a lot of the old timers, and even some of the new millenniums that come in go, well, I just love going into my office. And I'm like, well, okay, well, let me share this with you. The top producers I've trained throughout the world, and I won't drop all the names because there are a lot, the number one realtors in the world, you go into Florida, anywhere I go, and every one of them's mindset, every one of them, nobody goes into an office. You never even usually see them at an office meeting. They're out there working with their clients. They have families. They don't have so much time to work. And so they're out there either setting appointments or making those appointments. And now, you know what I found? By having this platform, my audience is actually growing. So instead of it being where it is now, it is growing. And here's the thing for you. The fact that you have the same opportunity, and we as real estate agents have, instead of making one presentation, physically driving over there, making the presentation, coming back home. Do you know what? I had a gentleman yesterday, and he was on the line. He said, I used to make 4 presentations using your system the way you taught me. He goes, now I'm making 10 presentations a week. So that means if you're working with buyers, getting buyers on contract, or sellers, and that brings me to this. If you are working with them, you have a way now to make those presentations. And Sam, I preach this always, and I've been preaching it for years. Stop working for free, okay? Don't work with people unless they commit to you. Now, you don't have a choice. You can't just go drive anybody into a house. You got to bring them in. So I say, bring them in, set them down. So now we're in Zoom. Then you qualify them. What's their why? If I could, would you? You work on their problem, go to the solution, and then you get their commitment based on what? Pre-approval. You send them to the lender, and if the lender pre-approves them, now you bring them back, and now you start zooming and showing them property. Now you know you have a qualified buyer, and that's the way you do the steps. However, most people try to work with people, and then they find out they're not qualified or they're not motivated, and more importantly, they didn't get them on contract. Now we don't have a choice. We must get them on contract. And so we work with a seller or buyer. There are 7 steps for the seller that I teach, and there are 9 steps for the buyer. And if you follow those steps and go back to basics, which your script is, overcoming their objection, and when they come at you, you got to be able to come back like that, to be able to say whatever it is they say. You got to be able to come back and overcome that objection. So we expect you to be good. So the best thing I can recommend for everybody out there is get your traffic going. Okay, get your leads coming in. Go back into your database. Start posting like crazy video and become an expert. I mean, there's a link. It's called Trend Graphics. okay, and with an X. And you can go there and you can be the expert in your area. So they're not going to question, you know what you're talking about. So if you go there and get all the trends that are going on right now in the market, you walk in as an expert, they're not going to ask you if you've been in the business 1 week or you've been in for 40 years. They're going to know that you know what's happening now. And the next step is to get their commitment. Always. And don't talk price, don't talk commission, don't get commission breath, as I call it. Yep. Go out there and help people in the way they need to be helped. So scripts, as Gene Frederick say, we're going back to basics. Know what to say, how to overcome those objections. And I say the best thing you can do is get tuned in. Now, hey, would now be a good time to start getting educated and getting out there. Spend that time on your mindset.
That's those are both. I mean, both the education mindset, both very valuable, and I mean, you're providing value. You've been doing your coaching program for a long time. eXp, we did like 140 hours of live training in eXp World. I mean, Daniel, have you ever heard of any other company offering that many training classes? Oh. I mean, unless it was a convention, it's like eXp having a live convention every single week.
You know, it's fun. I walk into the world and it was new to me, hey, I mean, it's like, wow. And it's a video game, so I walk in and I actually go in and talk to accounting. We're face to face. I can talk to a broker immediately. I go, tell me, what company can you walk in and even get a return phone call from your manager or your broker, right? Immediately, you're into every aspect. It's a university. You walk in until you try it. Here's what I tell you. You can't unsee it once you see it. With me, I got the Mac Daddy tsunami dose. You brought me to the national convention. And when I came in, I met everybody. I go Charlotte to a breakout for it, had a great time. I was just there as an observer. In other words, I was never going to join eXp, right? But when I came in and I started looking at it, I go, this makes so much sense. It is so ahead of the time. And lo and behold, what happens? This whole shutdown happens and everybody's now forced to use this model. So for me, it's like, hey, I'm happy. God has sent this to us. God is blessing us abundantly. And I think that there is a reason everything happens, Sam. And hopefully we can be the leaders in the community and really make a difference for people. So, for me, Sam, I think it's like anything else. Whatever happens, the skier that wins the race is the one that shifts the fastest with the changing conditions. Billy the Kid said that to me back in the 70s, Olympic gold medalist, and it's so true, that you have to change with the changing times. And if you don't, you're going to be left behind. And whether you do it now or later, you're going to call me up. And the people I'd called and shared it with, they're now calling me and saying, tell me more about that. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing the people in on the memberships, right? If you are a member or a past student or what have you, I'm doing a 1.5 hour show. They come in, they look at it, and at the end, we're able to actually show the world. And Amanda shows off the world in the new format for everybody. So, Sam, I think it's an amazing company. I believe that everybody should look at this and be involved. And when I say it's for everybody, it really is for everybody. We don't have a choice. We have to shift into these platforms.
That's a good points that you make there, Daniel. This has been a lot of great information that you're sharing. Again, I appreciate a lot of coaching nuggets for those of you selling real estate. They got some free coaching. Daniel, where do they go for those who are want more information about you, about World Cappers? WorldCappers.com right behind you is the place to go.
Yeah. What you do is I want to do something also, a little gift for everybody, because I really believe in mindset. I want to share with you. I wrote this book and I want to give it to everybody here today and ongoing with eXp in a download. You go to worldcappers.com/book. And let me tell you briefly about the book. I wrote the book and I dedicated it to my daughter, Danielle Nicole, which passed away in a car accident in 2006, and it completely took me out. I'm going to talk about it, but I'll tell you what, it really was one of the hardest things. If you have children, you know what I'm talking about. It just tears you up. And so I started going into my journey and trying to build and what have you. And it just, everything seemed to be hitting a wall. And in 2012, Sam, I was riding a big, beautiful Dutch warm blood going through the gate up in Rolling Hills Estates, and the horse bucked and my knee got stuck into a metal wood fence. I tried to pulley rein her. And when I did, my head hit the ground in 1/5 of a second. Blood everywhere. And Sam, when I start to get up, I'm paralyzed from my neck down. Took me to the hospital. I could feel all of a sudden feeling started coming in, and they said to me, "We're sorry, Mr. Pendley, you'll probably never walk again." And I'm like, "Oh my God, please give me one more chance. If you give me one more chance, I will get off my high horse, so to speak, and I will I will feed the homeless. I'll do anything I can." And you know what? 12 hours later, I got a break. This was back August 19th, 12. Come back and said, "You have fluid on your spine, and you're going to be okay, but you'll probably be in a walker." I go home, recoup for 2.5 months before I could even pick my arms up. Food fell out of my face, right? And Craig Hodges from the Lakers, a shooting coach, came and said, "Pendley," he goes, "would you go feed the homeless?" I did. I started feeding the homeless, sharing with people, telling them how grateful and thankful you should be that you are here, you've got gifts. And guess what? My arms come up, and that next year, I jumped on that same horse, rode that horse, and Sam, I was able to ski on my birthday last year. So I want people to know that all things are possible. Get up in the morning and have an attitude of gratitude, grateful and thankful, and really live the power of your dreams, because that's all we got, and all you are is what you can do to serve others. So Sam, that's my gift. Go to World Cappers. You can sign up for the training program if you want. It's a 1-year membership. You get all the multimedia, you get the scripts, you even get to be on my Zoom call every week. You get 2 movies that are educational movies that give you accountability, and I've made it, where it's just a very, very small price that you give, and I'll ask you to do one thing, and we have a charity. What's it called? Extend a hand. Is that right? Yeah. All I ask you to do is give back 10 to 15% of your money. As you make money and I help you, give your money back so you can help others. Does that make sense, Sam?
That's awesome. I pour into so many others, and continue to pour into others here within eXp. Now we're grateful to have you a part of the family. Thanks again for coming in here and sharing, and the little giveaway there as well. Much appreciated. Yep. So Daniel, it's been a real pleasure, and appreciate you coming in and sharing all this information. So for those again, reach out to Daniel. If you're already speaking to Daniel, keep speaking to Daniel. Again, going with an open mind, listening to the opportunity. For those who are, maybe you don't know about eXp yet, lend the ear, check it out, listen to the opportunity. And for those already talking to an eXp agent, get back with that eXp agent and keep hearing about that opportunity and poke those holes in it. So with that, Daniel, we're going to be signing off. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And, I always put tidbits on my Instagram if you want to join me at Daniel Pendley as well. But in all due fairness, I want to do as much good for the universe and helping as many people as possible. And I can only do that with everybody's participation. God bless you, Sam, and all the good you do. You guys are rock stars in this industry. Thank you for doing what you do, brother.
Pleasure. Thanks again, Daniel.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Well, we've got yet another awesome episode in the books here. Daniel Pendley, top real estate coach across the world. A lot of great information shared with you. So yet again, thanks again for tuning in to HiiVE Podcast. My name is Sam Rodriguez, your HiiVE host, and I am signing off. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great day. And that is a wrap on another episode of HiiVE Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and give this episode a thumbs up if you like what you heard, and remember to subscribe for future episodes. You can also catch some highlights and other eXp news and industry buzz on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts.